TPRS Storytelling helps teachers to provide input by making the language spoken in class both comprehensible and engaging. Circling is the practice of asking a series of simple questions about a statement, all in the target language. It is intended to provide repetition of the target vocabulary in context and enable students to learn the vocabulary, grammar, and phonology of their new language in a holistic way. There are tons of great circling templates out there, but the idea is that you want to find one that suits your level of students, whether that be Webb's Depth of Knowledge 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you're curious to find out what level your students are at, you can watch one of my other videos on Webb's Depth of Knowledge. Circling is the art of asking repetitive questions, and as with any form of art, your first draft will never be a masterpiece. But I guarantee you, this technique is so simple to pick up and start using that you'll be doing it tomorrow in your classes. A complete circling has 8 steps. However, a successful circling may only consist of 2, 3, or 4 steps. The idea is that you know your students best, and you know at which pace they can perform most effectively. As I've mentioned, there's no perfect circling technique. Teachers will learn to personalize their circling technique to fit the needs of their classroom. However, there are 8 steps that can be part of any successful circling question. You can start off your circling with a statement. Remember, this statement should contain a subject, a verb, and an object. And optimally, it will contain the language structure that you are trying to highlight. Here's an example. You might be talking about a story in which one of the characters is at a restaurant. You might make a statement like, John eats a pizza. Step 2 is to ask a question to which the answer is yes. You want to get students confident answering yes questions. Questions that they can easily understand and easily get their hands raised. Going back to our restaurant example, you might ask a question like, does John eat a pizza? Step 3 is ask questions to which the answer is no. You can do this by substituting other subjects, verbs, and objects. In addition, you can also change small details of the story. Prepositions, adjectives, locations. Returning to our restaurant example, you might ask a question like, does John throw a pizza? Does John sell a pizza? Does John drop a pizza? Step 4 is a follow-up and should come directly after Step 3 questions. Step 4 are either-or questions. Okay, so you might ask a follow-up question like, does John drop a pizza or does John eat a pizza? Step 5 is to ask open-ended questions to which students know the answers. You can be sure that students know the answers by recycling information that you have already covered from the story. So in our restaurant example, you could ask, who eats a pizza? Or, what does John do? Or, what does John eat? Step 6 is very similar to Step 5. However, in Step 6, you ask open-ended questions to add more details that are not yet known. The new questions might sound like this. When does John eat a pizza? Or, why does John eat a pizza? You could ask, with whom does John eat a pizza? Or, how often does John eat a pizza? Or even, how often does John eat a pizza? The idea is that you're pulling new details from the story out of your students' minds. Step 7 is to have students fill in the blanks. Now, the important thing to remember with fill in the blanks is that you want to provide the key structure, the sentence types that you want to practice, and have students fill in the details. you might want to use questions that have students fill in key details from the story. So for example, you might ask, John likes to eat blank pizza. John likes to eat blank pizza from blank. And my final piece of advice is to always restate the original statement correctly after each question. Make sure that you are restating the details of the story. You're repeating the target language, and you're giving everybody an opportunity to hear the correct answer from a student and from the teacher. Restatement will sound something like this. The teacher says, "Does John eat M&Ms?" The students say, "No!" The teacher says, "John does not eat M&Ms. John eats pizza!" In closing, a final note. TPR storytelling will really create a lively, energetic, and interactive classroom. However, as a teacher, you should remember that you want to go slow, at a deliberate pace, and make sure that you separate each question so that students not only have an opportunity to answer the question, but have an opportunity to listen to the answers of other students as well. This technique teaches students how to ask questions well, an ability that is useful both in and out of the classroom. Good luck with Bash the Question. Cheers!